Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Good Morning Hebrew Home. I apologize for the delay. We had some technical difficulties that we should be all squared away for now. I'm your host for today, Catherine Farrell. I'm filling in for Olivia Cohen, and we're coming to you live from the Dörfner Judaica Museum here at the Hebrew Home. We have an exciting show for you today, so let's get right into it. Today is Friday, August 14th, and the time is 10:41. We actually have viewer mail today, so that's super exciting. Let's see what we have. I believe there are two. So the first one is from Marvin. Lisa's show, it looked very interesting, the geography, but it was hard to see with the image and sound cutting in and out. Okay, so we'll take that feedback and try to make it a little better for you. Thank you so much for letting us know. And then the second viewer mail is from Fred. And Fred says, Sylvia has real skills. Her art was fantastic. So super exciting that we had Sylvia on Wednesday. Thank you, Fred. Thank you, Marvin, for your feedback and your comments. We really appreciate it. Keep them coming. The number to dial if you want to leave us a message is 2813. Great. So moving on. There we go. Little teleprompter issues for me. This is new territory for me. So please stand by. Whoops. Okay. Nope. Wrong way. There we go. Very slowly moving on. So, any advice from the green room? Press up a couple times. There we go. Yes. Got it now. Okay. Yeah, another way you can reach out to us is by getting in contact with your friendly TAEP staff person on the neighborhoods or social services. So here we go. Today is National Creamsicle Day. Does anyone out there like creamsicles? They were one of my favorite popsicles as a kid. And the weather for today really warrants a nice cold creamsicle. So today's weather will be a high of 85 with a mix of sun and clouds. Saturday will be partly cloudy with a high of 83. And Sunday will be a little bit cooler with a high of 74, but a 60% chance of showers. So on to this day in history for August 14th. In 1966, the U.S. lunar orbiter, a spacecraft circulating in space, was designed to take photos of the moon's landscape in preparation for American astronauts landing on the lunar landscape. And that mission went very well, obviously, as we know today. In 1998, after more than 6 years, a brand new Oxford Dictionary is completed by Oxford University Press. So this was the first publication of the dictionary written from scratch. Normally, each new edition makes amendments or additions. So the new Oxford Dictionary contains 350,000 words with contemporary meanings, including the usage of words and political correctness. On to our birthdays for today and for this weekend. So our celebrity birthday today is Steve Martin. He's one of my favorite actors, actually. He was born August 14th in 1945 in Waco, Texas. Steve Martin is an American actor, comedian, writer, playwright, producer, musician, and composer. He started his career at Disneyland at the age of 10, that's pretty young, selling guidebooks on weekends and full-time during the summer school breaks. His first national exposure came as a stand-up comedian on The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson, and his rise in the movies came just a few years later with him starring in Parenthood, House Sitter, Cheaper by the Dozen, Three Amigos, another one of my favorites, Father of the Bride, and the movies just kept on coming from there. Also, I really like the movie The Jerk that he was in. He's passionate about music and is an accomplished banjo player, which I think he did play in The Jerk, actually. So celebrating some birthdays here at the home today. For our resident birthdays, we have Deb T. Tomorrow, Saturday, we have Elaine L. and Merrill V. And no resident birthdays on Sunday. So no staff birthdays for today or tomorrow, But on Sunday, we have Jay-Z from nursing and Jean from research. Happy birthday to everybody for today and this weekend. So let's move on to my favorite topic, food, and see what's on the menu. Today's lunch will be cheese pizza, Caesar salad, and for dessert, peaches. Dinner tonight will be vegetarian vegetable soup, Greek meatballs, and yellow rice, and dessert will be chocolate cake. Saturday's lunch will be beer-battered baked fish, sweet potato parsley cauliflower, and dessert sponge cake. Saturday's dinner, cream of broccoli soup, California vegetable sandwich, and with potato chips, and dessert was strawberry ice cream. For Sunday's lunch, it'll be a southern fried chicken, seasoned diced potatoes, collard greens, and for dessert, fudge supreme cookies. And Sunday's dinner, stracciatella soup, broiled salmon, orzo with mushrooms, and for dessert, fruit cocktail. So, moving on to our interview for today. It's my privilege to interview a member of my team, the Therapeutic Arts and Enrichment Programs Department. Please welcome Clare Cooper to the show.
Hi.
Hi, Clare. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, I know that you're on Channel 8 for the broadcast programs for your music, but I thought we would get into a little bit more about you, about Clare.
Okay.
So let's start by telling us how it was you came to the Hebrew Home and how long you've been here and what your role is here.
Well, my role here is music specialist. I play music for the residents. And I came here 5 years ago. It was 5 years in June. And I answered an ad because I found it somewhere. I said, oh, this looks like something I can do. This looks good to me. I've been playing in nursing homes on and off, actually through Lee Perry Gross, who books some of the outside entertainment here, and volunteering with an organization called Musicians on Call, which sends people to nursing homes and hospitals, and just doing things like that on and off for years. And I thought, I'd been freelance for years and years, and the instability was starting to get to me.
Sure.
When you're young and you're doing that, you're like, oh, this is great, I can handle it. And then as you get older, it's not so much fun to not know what you're doing next week.
Right.
And I said, I need to get a job, and this looks like a good place to work.
Fantastic.
And I'm so glad that I'm here.
Yeah, me
so
too.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. It was a pleasure and wonderful. I remember your interview.
I do too.
And we're so happy to have you on board.
Well, thank you.
So, have you been a musician, like a working musician, your whole life?
A lot of it. At this point, most of it.
Yeah.
I graduated from Berklee College of Music, and my first thought, the first thing I did was move to Florida because it's really cold in Boston. And I had a friend from college who lived in Miami, and he said, oh, come down and join my band. And I said, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm 21, and that sounds good.
Why not?
Well, it was a terrible band.
Oh, boy.
And I didn't really like it down there that much, but I learned a lot. And I met great people who mentored me and helped me, and basically I made all my mistakes down there, so that was kind of good. But
and early.
Yeah. So I traveled with bands, so I was working in music mostly full-time. But then I wanted to come back to New York. My family was here, and the music that I liked, that I wanted to be playing, was here. So I moved back and found that it wasn't so easy.
Sure.
And so I started playing in bands and learning how to write songs and doing other jobs along the way.
Great.
I was an office temp for a long time. That
Okay.
was terrible. I was a textile designer for a while and gradually transitioned into playing music full time.
Great. Textile designer. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the creative part of you, right?
Yeah.
Putting that into practice. I think as an artist myself, I feel very drawn to music, and I feel very passionate about music. So I think it's again that just that like if you're a creative person, it's often spills out into the other modalities and not just your own.
I think a lot of people do a little bit of all the arts.
Yes, except I can't sing.
Really?
So, no.
Oh, you could if you.
No. But yeah. So tell me, Clare, what are some hobbies just, in your personal life that you enjoy?
Well, I make jewelry.
Oh, there we go again with the creative side. Okay.
Yeah. And I still do. I mean, my textile design background's still there. I do a little bit of sewing. I get frustrated easily because my sewing machine isn't great.
Okay.
But
yes.
it was, I mean, I make clothes. I repurpose clothes and paint on them and things like that.
Oh, wow. I had no idea. That's so great. I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's great.
And I try to exercise a lot. I love fitness. And
What do you do for exercise?
well, I live near Riverside Park, so I race walk, which I haven't done much of these last couple of weeks because it's been so hot.
Okay.
But I do yoga, and I lift weights.
Good.
And I've been doing that in my apartment because my gym has been closed.
Right, sure, of course.
So, you have to really, small movements, not to knock anything over.
Are you doing any of the online yoga classes? Yeah.
Those are great. It's not the same as being in a class, though, and having a teacher come and adjust you and,
Yes.
tell you what you're doing wrong. But it's better than not doing anything.
Yes. One of the hats that I have worn in my past is a yoga teacher. In
I
fact, I was a
didn't
yoga
see that.
teacher long before I was an art therapist.
Oh.
So I completely agree with the being in the classroom presence, and there's something too about having the energy of the other students around
Yes,
you
definitely.
and the energy of the teacher.
Absolutely.
And while the online is great and convenient, it's not always it's really not the same.
Well, if you're making mistakes and doing things the wrong way, there's no one to correct you.
Right, there's that too. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that your exercise and the yoga, that's all part of your self-care and
Yeah, very much so.
textiles and jewelry making. Do you ever wear any of the jewelry that you make?
I do, yeah. If I had known I was going to be talking about it, I would have worn some today.
Sure. Well, let me know next time. I
Okay.
would love to see some.
Sure.
It's also one of my previous lives is
Right.
making jewelry and getting
Yeah.
into all of that. So we know about all of your wonderful talents as a
thank you.
musician and textile and jewelry maker, but do you have any secret talents that we don't know about?
Secret talents?
Yeah, or secret interests?
Secret interests. Well, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm very lucky in that I'm able to use all my interests and do the things that I want to do in my work.
Yeah, I would
So-
say, knowing you too, that one of your secret talents, from my perspective, is
Okay.
really being able to put together a show and really go very deep into the history of what's going on in the time, and maybe the other political things happening, and really just presenting a very broad experience when you're putting together your shows. And so I really attribute that to, it's not so secret, but that was along the lines of what I was thinking in terms of something that you're really good at, and that's not just playing as a musician, right? You have your talents as a musician, but being able to include all of the extra to make it so special.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's really special. And
Thanks. Well, I learn while I'm doing it. And it's the kind of research that I love doing because I'm looking into things that I was already interested in.
right.
And I feel like there's such a broad range of people here that I want to do a little something for everybody. And I've worked in so many clubs and in so many venues where, especially in New York, where there's so many tourists
Right.
from all over the world.
Yes.
And you find out things that you might not have looked into. I mean, some people just only stay with the kind of music that they want and that they're used to. But when you have to kind of stretch yourself, you find things that you didn't know you were interested in.
Yeah. It's it really makes for a very rich experience.
Oh, good. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're welcome. And so, I guess this is a great segue, honestly, to you and your music abilities and your talents. Would you like to share something with us today,
Sure.
musically?
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you head over to our performance space, and we'll get into it.
So the song I want to do today is Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper.
I love that song.
Me too.
Oh, it's such a great song.
And it just, and encapsulates so many different feelings, and on the surface it's about a relationship, but if you go deeper, it's really about people connecting and being able to find each other when they need to. And I think that's what our department especially is trying to do, is to
Absolutely.
reach for people and, you know, help bring them out of anything that they may be experiencing.
Yep, that's very well said. That's exactly what we do.
Oh, thanks. All right. Lying in my bed, I hear the clock ticking, think of you caught up in circles. Confusion is nothing new. Flashback, warm nights almost left behind. Suitcase of memories. Time after, sometimes you think of me. I'm walking too far ahead. You're calling to me. I can't hear what you have said. Then you say, go slow. I fall behind. The second hand unwinds. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time. Time after time. Fades and darkness has turned to gray. Watching through windows, you're wondering if I'm okay. Secrets stolen from deep inside. The drum beats out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time. Time after time. Time after time. Thank you.
Wow, so wonderful. Thank you so much, Claire. That brings so much memories to me of being a little girl and listening to Cyndi Lauper. And yeah, she was one of my favorites. In fact, you know, probably my favorite artist as a kid growing up.
And she's still doing it.
Yep.
She still looks great. She still sounds great.
Yep, she sure does. And so thank you so much for being on the show, Claire.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for sharing your wonderful music with us today and all days that you're here.
It's a pleasure.
It's really special for the residents.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. So everyone, that's really our show for today. We have a couple of announcements. Remember to tune in to Channel 8 later today. Right on next, we have Catholic services at 11:15. Larry Applewhite is off, but he'll be back next week for his 1:30 slot, and then we have Shabbat Shalom at 3 o'clock. Our Broadway matinee this afternoon is a slight change. We'll be showing An American in Paris, and that's streaming on Channel 88 at 2 p.m. So that's our show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you missed any part of this broadcast, we'll show it again tonight at 6:30 on our streaming channel 88. Please, again, reach out. Let us know your thoughts, your questions, your comments. You can dial 2813 or reach out to your friendly TAP staff person. And I'm going to close with an inspirational quote from Sidney J. Harris. Happiness is a direction, not a place. Thank you, everyone. Once again, I'm Catherine Farrell, filling in for Olivia Cohen. This has been Good Morning Hebrew Home, and join us next Monday for another episode, same time, same place. Have a great weekend. Bye.